and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Richard Nta from CGTN, and I'm honored to host this special event co-organized by CGTN and the Chinese Embassy in Tanzania. China-Africa Vision Towards a Sustainable Future. The historical and trajectory of China-Africa relations has been characterized by sincerity and reciprocity, from collaborative infrastructure projects to the exchange of knowledge and expertise. This partnership transcends geographical boundaries and connects people from both sides. While this year also marks the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative, which is expected to project $1.6 trillion annual global benefits by 2030. Looking ahead, the question remains, how can China and Africa work together to shape a sustainable path forward? It's important to note that Tanzania's strategic geographical location along key trade routes positions it as a vital contributor to the economic symbiosis binding China and Africa. Moreover, the historical camaraderie between Tanzania and China, exemplified through projects like the construction of the Tazara Railway, showcasing an enduring dedication to shared progress. It is within this historical context, ladies and gentlemen, that we convene today at the University of Dar es Salaam with almost 200 guests and over 200 students all combined, here to reinforce the foundations of a sustainable tomorrow. To start with, it is our privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to invite Her Excellency Chen Mingjiang, Ambassador of China to Tanzania, to give a welcoming speech. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Your Honorable Musa Azan Zungu, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Honorable Mr. Deng Li, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, Honorable Mzee Joseph Butiku, President of the Board, Mwalimu Nyerere Foundation, Your Excellency Ambassadors, High Commissioners, officials from different departments of Tanzania government, distinguished guests, dear friends, good morning. Habari za asubuhi. I'm so glad to attend today's special event, China-African Vision Towards a Sustainable Future. First of all, on behalf of the Embassy in Tanzania, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the guests attending today's event and express my heartfelt gratitude to the staff who have made great efforts in organizing this wonderful event. From 22nd to 24th August, the 15th BRICS Summit was held in South Africa. At the invitation of South African President Ramaphosa, President Xi Jinping attended the summit and presided over the China-African Leaders Dialogue, in which he once again got together with African leaders to discuss the development of China-African relations. At the same time, President Xi once again met with President Samia Suluhu Hassan. In this context, it is timely for us to hold today's dialogue to exchange ideas and united efforts in implementing the important consensus reached by Chinese and African leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, this year marks the 60th anniversary in the Belt and Road Initiative proposed by President Xi Jinping. In 2013, President Xi, with insight into historical trend, put forward the Belt and Road Initiative, which aimed at promoting policy coordination, facility connectivity, and impeded trade, financial integration, and people-to-people bonds among all countries in the world. During the past 10 years, the BRI has changed from idea into practice, from blueprint into reality, which has opened up a new direction for international cooperation and exchange, and provided new impetus to the common development of the whole world. The BRI has become a high-quality public good initiated by China, jointly built by all parties and shared globally. It serves as an important platform to build a community with a shared future for mankind. Over the past decade, the Belt and Road Initiative has built a solid platform for international cooperation. China has signed more than 200 cooperation documents with 3/4 of countries in the world and more than 30 international organizations concerning the Belt and Road, forming an important support and close network for international development. Under the strategic framework, all parties have jointly established over 20 cooperation platforms in the fields of infrastructures, green development, digital economy, etc., and jointly established support mechanisms such as Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, BRICS New Development Bank, and Silk Road Fund. In the past 10 years, Belt and Road cooperation has attracted nearly $1 trillion of investment worldwide, established more than 3,000 cooperation projects, created 420,000 jobs for the countries in cooperation, and lifted nearly 40 million people out of poverty. Authoritative institutions such as the World Bank and the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific have issued reports with a series of solid figures and cases to illustrate that the Belt and Road Initiative has effectively promoted world trade, investment, and economic growth, boosted global industrialization, innovation, and inclusive development, and made great contributions to accelerating the implementation of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Over the past decade, the Belt and Road Initiative has brought important opportunities for African development. Up to now, 52 African countries out of 54, almost all African countries, and the African Union Commission have signed Belt and Road cooperation documents with China. In 2022, that is last year, the trade volume between China and Africa reached $282 billion, accounting for 20% of Africa's total foreign trade that is made from one country. China only have the trade with African countries account for 1/5 of the total foreign trade of Africa. China has been Africa's largest trading partners for 14 consecutive years. In 2022, the stock of China's direct investment in Africa exceeded $47 billion, almost double that of 2013, that is 9 years ago. Since 2000, the year 2000, China has built more than 6,000 kilometers of railway and highway, respectively, in Africa, and built nearly 20 ports and almost more than 80 large-scale power facilities. A large number of Belt and Road Initiative flagship projects have been completed and put into use in Africa, which have played an important role in Africa's industrialization and economic transformation. With the support and the inspiration of the Belt and Road Initiative, China-African cooperation in culture, education, health, think tanks, youth, and women issues has been expanding day by day, bringing tangible development dividends to Chinese and African people. Over the past decade, the Belt and Road Initiative has built a new bridge for China-Tanzania friendship. The strategic docking between the two sides has been deeper. In November last year, President Xi Jinping and President Samia Suluhu Hassan held a historic meeting in Beijing, steering the pilot for deepening bilateral relations and pragmatic cooperation. The ties of cooperation between China and Tanzania have become tighter. Last year, the bilateral trade volume between China and Tanzania reached $8.31 billion, 3.5 times that of the decade ago, and a number of Tanzania agricultural produces such as soybean and avocados were exported to China. In 2022, China remained the largest source country of investment in Tanzania also, with the volume of direct investment 2.5 times that of a decade ago. A series of strategic projects, such as the 5th and 6th beat section of the Central Standard Gauge Railway, Nirira Hydropower Station, East African Crude Oil Pipeline, and National ICT Backbone Network, contracted by Chinese-funded enterprises, have laid a solid foundation for Tanzania's economic and social development and regional interconnection. Investment projects such as Marvini Cement, the Sapphire Floating Glass, and East African Business Logistics Center have helped Tanzania accelerate its industrialization. The people's hearts and minds of China and Tanzania have been closer. China has provided Tanzania with more than 2,000 scholarships and thousands of vocational and technical training opportunities. The cooperation between China and Tanzania in education, culture, health, tourism has flourished, and the people of the two countries have been getting to know each other deeply. The Library of University of Dar es Salaam, where we are now today, is the landmark project aided by China in the area of education. And it is also a concentrated expression of China and Tanzania working together to promote exchange among youth. As China's ambassador in Tanzania, I have witnessed a flourishing cooperation between China and Tanzania under the Belt and Road Initiative. Tanzania enterprises representatives told me that the Belt and Road cooperation has brought many business opportunities. The Tanzania young people expressed their gratitude to me, saying that the education and training programs provided by China enabled them to realize their value and to serve the country with what they have learned. And the jobs provided by enterprises of China enabled them to gain income and skills at the same time. I'm so glad to know that a young Tanzania starting in China now has gathered several like-minded friends from countries along the Belt and Road to form a band named Belt and Road, which has a large number of fans on social media in China. The voice of all walks of life in Tanzania show that Belt and Road Initiative is a popular initiative that really promotes development, benefits people, livelihood, and has broad influence and far-reaching appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, later this year, China will host the third Belt and Road Summit Forum for International Cooperation. We'll join hands with the international community to sum up achievements and plot out the future, continue to promote the high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, and spread this road of happiness that benefits of the world even wider and farther. It is believed that China, Tanzania, and all African countries will take this opportunity to jointly push forward the high-quality building of Belt and Road in a thorough and pragmatic way, while creating more benefits for all peoples. Finally, I wish the special event a complete success. Thank you very much. Asante Sana.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to introduce our next distinguished guest, a visionary leader and advocate for progress. Please join me to welcome Mr. Musa Azan Zungu, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Tanzania, to the stage. Round of applause.
Mambo, Your Excellency Shen Mijin, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Mzee Joseph Butiku, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Mwalimu Nyerere Foundation, Honorable Dr. Mutuku Muthuki, Secretary General of East African Community, Mr. Deng Li, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, the People's Republic of China, distinguished guests, media practitioners, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. First and foremost, I take this opportunity to thank you for inviting me officially to open the International Dialogue and Symposium on China-African Vision towards a Sustainable Future. I must say that I feel honored. Before I proceed, allow me to extend my appreciations to the organizer of this event, the Embassy of the People's Republic of China to Tanzania, in collaboration with Global Television Network and Mwalimu Nyerere Foundation for organizing it successfully. Clearly, this signifies the long-standing and historical relation that the People's Republic of China and Africa have enjoyed through the years and evidenced through eagerness to maintain the status for sustainable of the two sides. Sincerely, it gives me great pleasure to be part of this symposium as we mark the 10th anniversary of Belt and Road Initiative proposed by His Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, in 2013. With a view to promoting connectivity of people, connectivity of infrastructure, connectivity of trade, connectivity of policy, and financial integration. Ladies and gentlemen, the long-standing relation between China and Africa lies on historical ties with features, among others, win-win for mutual benefit, common development, sincere friendship, and equality. These provided a source of strength for the continuous growth of China-Africa friendly relations. It is evident that China and Africa partnership is not only important, but absolutely necessary. Hence, we must continue to make sure that we strongly continue to go together to maintain our relation established since 1960 for the betterment of two economies. As the saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, China and Africa have successfully embarked on a distinct path of cooperation towards economic development and recovery. This is traced by His Excellency President of China during the official opening of the 8th Forum on China and Africa Cooperation held in Senegal 2021. That together we have written a splendid chapter of mutual assistance amidst complex changes and set a shining example for building a new type of international relation. As we are all aware, the overgrowing interactions between China and Africa is marked by establishment of the Forum of China-African Cooperation in 2000. Since then, the Forum has been the main platform for China-Africa, which implies a common journey of the two. Since its inception, we have witnessed that FOCAP has proved to be an effective cooperation mechanism between Africa and China, and has become a model of South-South cooperation. Over the course of 2 decades, China has evidently become Africa's biggest economic partner in financing and development assistance, trade, investment, and infrastructure development. Ladies and gentlemen, the China's Belt and Road Initiative is another milestone in China-African partnership that complements the Forum on China and Africa Cooperation. The initiative has attracted many African members of FOCAP, where they have joined the Belt and Road Initiative family. This has indeed injected strong motivation to the China-Africa Comprehensive Strategic Cooperation Partnership. Currently, all members of the FOCAP are participating in the Belt and Road Initiative. This means that cooperation areas that are being promoted under the initiative and the FOCAP, such as industrialization, infrastructure, receive even stronger political support from China, which in turn would help fast-track the implementation of projects in the relevant areas. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may be all aware, Belt and Road Initiative is a development initiative aimed at connecting 3 continents of Europe, Africa, and Asia as the short form of the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. The initiative's primary objective is to enhance economic connectivity by linking 47% of the world population, 23% of global GDP, and vast amount of natural resources. The initiative envisions a network of land and sea trade, routes that require significant infrastructure development. This poses the significance of the initiative in the East African countries. Ladies and gentlemen, one can ask why the BRI is so significant for the East African countries. As I said earlier, the BRI symbolizes a revival of the ancient Silk Road that once linked China with Africa. It also represents the most convenient and accessible way to move freight and people of two poles of East Africa and Europe, to strengthen connectivity and promote maritime cooperation and partnership. In that regard, the BRI represents an opportunity for East African nations to acquire financing and material support for infrastructure projects. It is clear that while many infrastructure projects have been implemented, the region still has inadequate railway roads and energy pipelines, to name a few. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the East African Development Strategy stresses on the expansion of road and railway network, sea and lake ports, as well as air transportation. It also aims at rejuvenating the regional railway industry as a way of enabling the efficient transportation of freight across the long distance to landlocked countries. From partner states that have access to the sea. Thus, the East African strategy, as well as the regional access to seaports, rail lines, power stations, and inter-regional highways, increase the chances to benefit through BRI. Ladies and gentlemen, among the main 5 areas covered by the BRI is infrastructure connectivity. This makes the BRI particularly attractive as a catalyst for East Africa economic integration. In this regard, the East African countries are in better position to grab all opportunities come with this initiative. Certainly, strengthening East African community relations with China will spur economic growth in the region. For instance, in Tanzania, we have witnessed a large number of Chinese state-owned and private companies with strong capital, technical and management capacity taking part in Tanzania development projects. These include the construction of standard gauge railway, construction of the new Msalato Airport, extension of Mtwara and Dar es Salaam Port, construction of Terminal 3 of Julius Nyerere International Airport, Tanzania National ICT Broadband Network, the Mtwara-Dar gas pipe line, as well as the Zanzibar International Airport. Thus, as highlighted by His Excellency President Xi Jinping during the opening ceremony of Bao Forest Forum for Asia Annual Conference on the 10th April 2018, the Belt and Road Initiative may be China's idea, but its opportunities and outcome are going to benefit the world. This is evident to the East African countries. Ladies and gentlemen, as you start your workshop today, I urge you to take into consideration on how we can continue to influence the successful implementation of BRI in East Africa countries through the spirit of peace, cooperation, openness, inclusiveness, mutual learning, and mutual benefits. I'm aware that in this 2-day workshop, you will discuss and share ideas on different areas. It is my sincere hope that at the end of the workshop, you will be able to review the progress achieved by China and East African countries in jointly building Belt and Road, identify major challenges facing China and East Africa countries in the cooperation in jointly building the Belt and Road, identify the ways to promote synergy between BRI and regional economic integration in East Africa, identify the ways to promote cooperation between BRI and development strategies of East African countries, clarify the role of media and think tanks in promoting Belt and Road cooperation between China and East African countries. Before I conclude, Honorable Ambassador, please let us make TAZARA great again. China, Tanzania, and Zambia can start with a working group and make this railway great again. Having said that, it is my singular honor to declare this workshop officially open, and I wish you fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Asanteni sana. Shishi.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to introduce Joseph Butiku, Chair of the Board of the Walimu Nyerere Foundation, whose perspective adds a valuable layer to this event. A big round of applause.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mr. Musa Azam Zungu, Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellency, Ambassador Chen Minjian of the People's Republic of China, all distinguished guests invited to this conference or this meeting, ladies and gentlemen, protocol observed. I had written a short statement which I'm not going to read because in protocol, once the ambassador has said something and the guest of honor has said something, it's not easy for me to say something that is outside what they've said. But let me say, I was scheduled to simply greet you. So let me do the greeting first in Tanzania, and then I'll do it in English. Kwa Watanzania wote na wasalimuni kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Asante sana. And for the rest of you, is it an afternoon? Good afternoon. Good afternoon for the rest of you. So when we talk about China and Africa, we are talking about a common vision for a common destiny. And that destiny is about people, all of us, wherever they are. And for the foundation, as it was for Mwalimu, all these people, ni ndugu zangu, are our brethren. That's our belief. And it's a fundamental belief for our foundation. We work for Africa. Africa is now 1.4 billion people. China, I'm told, it is 1.4 billion people. China and Africa are part of the South. And you've heard what the ambassador said in terms of economic relationship, the contribution of China to what Africa has done, development. I don't have to say it, to repeat it, but only to say thank you very much to Your Excellency the Ambassador. And every time I've listened to you talk to us, you have given us this vital information. And today, thank you very much for making it this informative speech with all that information to enable us together to see what our friends China and what we in Africa are doing together, but certainly the benefits that we draw from China. I say thank you very much. Na ndugu Mheshimiwa Naibu Speaker, asante sana kwa heshima ya kuja kufanya kazi na sisi, na all that you said about Tanzania, about Africa, about East Africa, and about the contribution that the parliament in Tanzania is playing and is going to continue to play to promote this kind of common vision. One last point. Whenever we as a foundation talk to people like this gathering, we always want to remind you the basis of this sustainable future, the principles which we must all work every day to observe, to remember that even though the world is about 7 point something, nearly 8 million, we are all people. We are all people equal in our humanity, and we all deserve human rights, and we all deserve the opportunity to access resources and to develop ourselves using our human capacity and resources to the maximum. This one we must remember, and that's what the foundation stands for, to remind you, governments, parliaments, all institutions, that we all live on this one planet as human beings equal in our humanity, and we deserve human rights. So this foundation, we are happy today to work with the Chinese government and the Chinese people, and the ambassador here, to promote this road and belt. The road we know, the belt we know, mkanda. So we are on one road, mkanda mmoja, and that's the initiative. We must move together. Together we can achieve much more than individual countries separately. Asante sana. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Well, next I would like to introduce a very special guest, Deng Li, Vice Foreign Minister of China.
尊敬的中国副议长，尊敬的马图基秘书长，尊敬的陈明建大使阁下，女士们、先生们，各位朋友、各位来宾，大家好！非常高兴呢，参加丝路上的新征程中非共建对话及研讨会。首先呢，我代表中国外交部对本次研讨会的成功召开表示热烈的祝贺。2023年是习近平主席提出“一带一路”倡议10周年。10年来，“一带一路”的影响、规模和参与度不断的扩大，已经成为深受国际社会广泛欢迎的公共产品和国际合作平台，引起了全世界超过3/4的国家和30多个国际组织参与其中。中国和非洲国家秉持共商、共建、共享的精神，推进中非高质量共建“一带一路”合作，取得了非常丰富的成果。10年来，中国与52个非洲国家和非盟委员会签署了“一带一路”合作文件，积极支持非洲自贸区的建设，中非合作的规模持续扩大，贸易总额累计超过了2万亿美元。中国始终是非洲第一大的贸易伙伴国。中国对非直接投资流量累计超过了300亿美元。中国向非洲国家派遣医疗队超过了9000人次，提供研修培训名额超过10万个。一大批重要的基础设施、社会民生项目相继完成。中国同非洲国家的合作实实在在地促进了非洲国家经济社会的发展和民生的改善，受到非洲国家和人民的欢迎和赞誉。坦桑尼亚是共建“一带一路”的重要参与方，中坦合作始终走在中非合作的前列。记得2013年，习近平主席访问坦桑尼亚期间，提出了真实亲诚的对非合作理念。这一重要理念 已经成为中国同发展中国家开展团结合作的基本政策理念。去年11月，习近平主席同哈桑总统共同宣布，将中坦关系提升为全面战略合作伙伴关系，为新形势下中坦关系的发展提供了战略引领。中坦双方正在密切对接，积极落实两国领导人的重要共识，全面推进中坦各领域的合作。女士们、先生们，加强同非洲国家的团结合作始终是中国外交政策的重要基石。共建“一带一路”倡议源于中国，但是它的机会和成果属于包括非洲在内的全世界。前不久，在金砖国家的约翰内斯堡峰会期间，举行了中非领导人对话会。习近平主席同非洲国家领导人围绕着助力非洲一体化、共筑高水平中非命运共同体这个主题，就如何携手推进各自的现代化建设，共同创造和平、公正、开放的发展环境深入交流，达成了许多重要的共识。会后，中方发表了支持非洲工业化倡议、中国助力非洲农业现代化计划和中非人才培养合作计划。中方愿意将自身的发展同支持非洲发展更加紧密地结合起来。中非双方推进落实全球发展倡议、全球安全倡议、全球文明倡议，共同促进非洲和平发展事业，共同迈向现代化，在携手构建新时代中非命运共同体的道路上并肩前行。今年，中方将举办第3届“一带一路”合作高峰论坛。“一带一路”的建设和合作将迎来新的阶段，我们也期待着以此为契机，同各方共同总结成就，擘画蓝图，继续推动共建“一带一路”高质量发展，建设更加紧密的卫生合作伙伴关系、互联互通伙伴关系、绿色发展伙伴关系、开放包容伙伴关系，让这条造福世界的发展路更加繁荣，惠及人类的幸福路更加宽广。谢谢大家。
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Deng Li, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of China there, delivering a very important message. Moving along, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to brace yourselves for an invigorating journey. We are diving into a fascinating documentary film festival showcasing around 60 documentaries and feature films encompassing themes ranging from the environment, culture, tourism, music, fashion, and of course, art. The copyright of these films is generously offered to local universities, institutes, and media. So let's savor a sampling of this diverse range today. And if these documentaries have sparked your interest, please don't hesitate to reach out for more details at comms.com. And as we immerse ourselves in the world of cinema, an exciting shift awaits. You know the old saying, great works are born from great stories. Now let's hear the real and vivid stories that have unfolded in Africa. Each story, I tell you, is a testament to their unique journeys. Our first speaker is Chinese, who has called Tanzania home for nearly 2 decades. He embarked on a path in the construction and property industries, starting from scratch. His business expansion mirrors the progress of Tanzania itself. He is a silent witness to the nation's development, and without further ado, please join me in extending a warm welcome to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnson Huang from Group 6 International Sinotan Industrial Park.
Habari za asubuhi, mabibi na mabwana. My name is Johnson Huang. This year marks my 20th year in Tanzania. Over the past 20 years, I witnessed not only rapid development and changes in Tanzania, but also grew from a very young boy to a mature entrepreneur, chairman of Group 6 International, Palm Village, and the Sinotan Industrial Park. My first time flying Tanzania was at night in June 2003. When I looked down from the window, I was wondering, where is the city? Hardly see lights. But, changes has happened rapidly. My first years in Tanzania, my strong memory was the experience when I walk in Kariakoo streets. You can hear non-stop noises out of generators. But slowly I found a lot of opportunities, especially in construction sector. The whole country needs a lot of development. I quit the job and started a construction company called Group 6 International. Although the start is very difficult, but I believe we could dedicate our resources to this land with buildings of outstanding quality and comfort. Over the past 17 years, we have completed more than 150 buildings in Tanzania across the country. And I just mentioned a few, such as construction of Dodoma University, construction of Treasury Building in Dodoma, NSS Building in Arusha, business complex in Moshi, bus terminal in Morogoro, a lot of secondary schools in Zanzibar and Pemba Island, and also the highest building in Dar es Salaam, the Mzizima Tower, 35-story building. So Group 6 quickly gained reputation over the past years and won Best Foreign Contractors Award in 2017. Indeed, Group 6 was growing so fast for the first 10 years. Those years, Tanzania annual GDP growth was more than 7%. The real estate market was booming as well, and decided to start the real estate development in 2012. The decision was driven by a profound belief that time has come to a stage where we can create a community where people can live comfortably and relaxing at the same time. One of our first famous development is Palm Village, a mixed-use, large-scale development, which is now becoming focal point of the town, and a vibrant international community full of people with different nationalities, shopping, eating, gymming, swimming, entertaining, working, and living under one roof. In fact, Palm Village Foundation Stone was laid by Her Excellency Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan when she was Vice President in April 2016. In April 2021, we paid a courtesy visit to Her Excellency after she was sworn in as 6th President of Tanzania in this discussion of setting up industrial parks in Tanzania. Because Tanzania is now ready for industrialization after heavy development of infrastructures over the years. Sinotai Industrial Park is the first largest industrial park in Tanzania with land size of 2,500 acres, equals to 10 square kilometers at the Kuala Kibaha district. We plan to complete the industrial park in 5 years. Upon completion, we will be having more than 200 large-scale industries in the park. We will be employing more than 100,000 people directly in the park, and with indirect employment of more than 500,000 jobs. So, look back my 20 years in Tanzania, although it is full ups and downs, but I'm dedicated to live in Tanzania, grow in Tanzania, and invest in Tanzania. I witnessed the 20 years development in Tanzania. It is a country of stable politics and peace, sustainable development vision, strategic location, abundant resources, and with big population with young people. Now, if you fly in Dar es Salaam, you will see a lot of buildings, high-rise buildings, and you will never see a dark city anymore. You will see a brightly lit modern city, row of tallest buildings across Dar es Salaam, which Group 6 International also involved in constructing them. So, let me conclude from Group 6 International as a contractor to Palm Village as a large-scale commercial development to Sinotai Industrial Park as a game changer of the country. My personal story tells Tanzania is indeed a land of potential with great future. Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you, Mr. Wong. Now, our next guest to the stage will bring a wealth of knowledge rooted in the agricultural sector with a particular expertise in soybean cultivation. A story stemming from a collaboration between the China Agricultural University and the Morogoro regional authorities. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome for Mr. Ernest Robert Nkongo.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to present the success story about the China Agricultural University and Morogoro Regional Commissioner's Office joint project, which started from 2011 to 2022. Yeah, the project has 4 phases. Starting from 2011 to 2012, with the production of maize in one village of Payapaya, and in 2013 to 2014, the addition of a new village of Mtegwa Simba, and in 2018 to 2019, the project was upscaled to another more 8 villages, making a total of 10 villages in Morogoro region. But later in 2021 and 2012, a new project was implemented in 4 demo villages. This was for soybean production, for the aim of producing soya and processing soya into different products for nutritional purposes. So the maize project outcomes in those 4 villages, the maize productivity increased from 9 to 7 bags per acre, up to 16.2 bags per acre, just by using, without using more inputs. But an average of 2,000 farmers adopted the so-called labor-intensive technology, which has improved the production and productivity. And more than 10,000 acres of maize were cultivated in those areas and those villages. And this made farmers to improve the spirit of hard working and working together. So the food security of household level were improved, and the social welfare of the farmers also improved. That means some farmers managed to build good houses and wear good clothes, and some of them installed electricity in their houses. The picture which you see there, it is the training which were conducted to farmers, which involved training them in good spacing and using the improved seeds to improve the productivity. As you can see, that is a pure stand of maize, and the other picture is for mixing maize and beans so as to make the soil fertility and improve the production. Another outcomes, collaborations were improved between China Agriculture University and Morogoro Regional Commissioner's Office. So through this collaboration, a number of leaders from different levels, from regional, district, ward, and villages, had studied tour to China in different occasions to learn things concerning production and also removing of the poverty. And year after year, some of the staff from regional staff got an opportunity and sponsorship to start a master degree program in China Agriculture University.
Thank you so much, Ernest and Congo, for bringing all of that there to light, and of course, sharing your extensive experience with us. Our upcoming speaker is a true force to be reckoned with, a leader in the non-profit sector who has dedicated herself to the empowering of girls in Africa, specifically in the realm of information and communications technology. Despite her absence here today, her messages are read through a video. So let's take a look at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests and champions of a brighter tomorrow, I am Elizabeth Njoroge, standing here advocating for a dynamic alliance between Africa and China, a digital pathway leading us to a future where no woman is excluded from the digital economy. Picture this. When women are omitted from the digital workforce, we lose an astonishing 1 trillion in economic potential across the low and medium income economies. This is according to UN report 2022. This ain't just data. It's a reminder of the untapped well of creativity, innovation, and skill waiting to be awakened. Today, I invite you on a journey that unveils the profound nexus between diversity, inclusion, and economic empowerment, dubbed Mama, Your First School. Envision our world where first lessons found in our mother's embrace become a catalyst for technological empowerment. Imagine technology transcending boundaries, granting every individual, regardless of background or location, access to digital resources. The potential of this vision is astounding as we hold the power to make it a reality. My path echoes that of many in Africa. Post-high school, I received a computer gift from my priest, but we didn't have electricity. So I had to rely on my sister who were blessed to have it. So this exposes the potential infrastructure challenges that curtails the potential. Over the 15 years that I have been in the tech center, I've been fortunate enough leading and driving digital transformation, yet looking back, reveals a somber truth. In a class of 42, only 10 girls. And even today, I find myself among the few women in various tech spaces. This imbalance fuels my career commitment to inspire and guide more women and girls into STEM fields. A source of immense pride is Kagoto Tech Hub, born from the simple act setting up a computer lab at my mother's school. Witnessing her type her name on a computer sparked our journey. This ignited Kagoto Tech Hub's expansion, rooted in the belief that digital schools economically empower women. Today we collaborate with other organizations, nurturing women and girls in technology across education, health sector, and governance, opening limitless pathways for digital transformation. Diversity and inclusion aren't just more ideals. They are the engines of progress and prosperity. Our world's challenges demand diverse perspective and innovative solutions. It's our shared duty to dismantle barriers that hinder progress together across continents. Africa and China, we possess the ability to bridge the digital divide, uplifting women and girls to unlock a $1 trillion economy that drives economies, industries, and societies forward.
Well, that was Elizabeth Njoroge, International ICT Business Partner at Christian Aid. Well, thank you, Ms. Njoroge, for your impactful message on empowering African girls and making it known. The potential of innovation and technology for transformation is undeniable. Next, let's get ready to meet an inspiring young individual emerging from Africa. He ventured into business in China, creating a tech startup there. Now he has returned to Tanzania with an unwavering commitment to drive tech development in the region. George Solomon from Kilimal, welcome to the stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, guests of honor, Ambassador Cheng Minjiang, and all guests. Thank you so much for being here. My name is George Solomon, and I'm an entrepreneur in a tech startup. And I have ventured in specifically in the tech startup. Back then when I was in China, I created an application called Hamster International Application. This application has been used with more than 10,000 foreigners who are living in China. Because staying in China, there's a problem of language barrier. So if you do not speak Chinese, there's always this language barrier that you're going to have using local apps such as Beituan and other local apps that are used in China. So that's when I came with the idea of Hamster. 3 years of running Hamster, I sold it to a VC in China, and as we're speaking right now, Hamster is still used at the moment in China. Came back to Tanzania, ventured in my technology as well, but then I am now the operation manager of Kilimal in Tanzania. Kilimal is basically an e-commerce platform whereby I would say it's the most leading e-commerce platform in Tanzania, not just Tanzania, but then Eastern Africa, because Kilimal have created jobs opportunities and as well has made life much easier in terms of e-commerce platforms. Overall, the Tanzania tech environment have developed as we speak mostly of the time, and this made that the economic of Tanzania grow rapidly. Not just make Tanzania the economic grow, but also it made Tanzania as one of the technological innovation hub in Africa. Thank you so much. That's just a small story of my entrepreneur. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Solomon. Inspiring story indeed. And speaking of driving our progress, our journey through innovation and dedication doesn't stop here. Our next speaker is a young visionary. Having studied abroad in China, he brings insightful viewpoints on the dynamic of China-Africa relations. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Ronald Dooley.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody. So my name's Ronald Dury, and I'm currently the communication manager at CCCC East Africa Limited, which is the construction and engineering companies in Tanzania. So this is my education history. slightly. I studied in Liaoning University in Shenyang City in China from 2009 to 2014. And this is my graduation picture. You can see me from far left. This is my farewell day at the internship at BMW Brilliance. So this is my few contribution to Tanzania-China bilateral relations. In 2014-2016, I got an opportunity to work at the Chinese embassy, as the media coordinator, at the press and the diplomats section. And my main duties was to promote the media reports, China media reports, bilateral relations to the local media houses. Also, we organized many events, including these ones. In 2015, there was a problem with poaching in Tanzania. So we organized 60 Tanzanians, young people, who rode bike from Dar es Salaam to Arusha in order to create awareness on poaching. So let me talk a bit about Chinese construction companies, how they contribute to the bilateral relations. So we talk about CCECC, which boosts the bilateral relations since the construction of Tazara in 1960s. So the railway started in Dar es Salaam to Kapirimposh, Zambia. The railway in total has 1,860 kilometers. And now the railway is the main means of transport from Tanzania to Zambia. Also, the railway promotes agriculture and the open market, especially the mining industry in Zambia. Also, CCC currently is constructing the Kigongo-Busisi Bridge in Mwanza, which is about 3.2 kilometers length and 28 meters width. So the bridge creates opportunities, employment opportunities. Also, upon completion, there will be free flow of passengers and goods, hence promote fishing and agriculture sector, and boosting the development in the Mwanza region. So why Tanzania-China bilateral relations matters? So we talk about promotion of infrastructure. Good infrastructure grants cheap and easy movement of passengers, goods, and products. For many years, Chinese companies have been in the front line to promote development in infrastructure. Currently, many Chinese companies, especially construction companies, they are building roads, railways, bridges, BRT, and airports. And the currently CCECC itself is constructing the standard gauge railway, Lot 5 and Lot 6, in Mwanza, Isaka, and and Tabora, Kigoma. So also the Tanzania bilateral relation matters because it boosts social progress. So we can see Chinese companies bring really and for profound changes to the livelihood and welfare of local communities here in Tanzania, granting better living conditions to the people and prosperous future, creating win-win cooperation. For instance, current CCCC is constructing a water project in Songea region, which upon its completion, it will benefit more than 400,000 Tanzanian people and create safe water for everybody.
Thank you so much, Ronald Dooley, for sharing those insights with us. Now, as we wrap up this session, we have a special treat for you. Joining us through a video message is Dr. He Wenping, Senior Research Fellow, China-Africa Institute. She has visited almost 30 African countries in Africa, and she has a word to say on the ever-evolving dynamics between these two vibrant regions. Let's take a look.
Actually, in the long time, I have been engaged with Africa and also do the research about Africa. Yeah, I also got a lot of chances of visiting African countries. So during those unaccountable visit and also field work and the workshop there. So there are two areas, and two stories related with those two areas actually left me a very deep impression. One visit is to Guinea, one of the Western African countries used to suffer from this Ebola disease. So when I visited a hospital in Guinea, I see and also heard a lot of moving story, touching story, talking about Chinese doctors. And with Guinea doctors, they are joined hand, fight side by side with this Ebola. And I also see one of the Guinea, this doctor, even lost his life. His picture has put in on the wall with other colleagues saying all those doctors lost their life when they are fighting with the Ebola. And this doctor even got a PhD in Chinese university when he learned those medical things, those doctor degree. So very young. So but now lost the life in this fighting Ebola, this struggle. I feel very sorry when I heard the story. And also this Chinese doctor, they share a lot of those memory with this very special period when they joined hands together. So this is China, to help Africa to build this public health capacity. And also during the fighting Ebola time, non-Chinese doctors saying retreat back to China, and then they all insisted on their position and together with their local colleagues to fight Ebola. And another story, that was I visited Kenya. To visit that Kenya standard gauge railway. When I visited the construction site, I saw that very tall, those overhead railway track has been built. I wasn't that understandable by that time. The local engineer, local manager told me this is to help those animals, moving around in a very smooth way, because when the seasons coming, rainy season, dry season, because all the area that was, Kenya's wildlife and the nature park, reserved nature park. So you have to considering how to protect those wild animals. So eventually the idea coming out to build this overhead, very tall, those overhead railway track. So make it, now the local engineer told me, even those long, 2 meter long, those giraffe, those leg, 2 meters long leg giraffe, now feel free to pass by down there. So this project left me, a very deep impression. That is, when the developing country, our global south country, want to develop ourselves, how to combine those wildlife protection, like nature protection, and with our economic development. Now I think Kenya, this standard gauge railway, now come up with an answer to this dilemma. So I really appreciate that, that experience when I visiting this railway. Now I heard the railway itself can contribute like annually 1.5% to 2% GDP growth for Kenya's GDP, development. So which is very wonderful news. Actually, this is also show the point for like how to combine environment protection and GDP development, and also how to develop the green development idea and make this development in a sustainable way.
All right, once again, let's thank Dr. Winping for that insightful piece. A big thank you to all of our wonderful speakers. Now, everyone here, it's your time now to showcase the wonders of Africa. This is my favorite part of the event, because now we turn the spotlight and the pressure on you, the audience. We are about to kick off an interactive session where each of you get an opportunity to give a 1-minute pitch about something amazing about Africa. All you have to do is raise up your hand and you can talk about a historic site, a scenic city, delectable cuisine, or some cherished tradition. All you have to do is raise your hand and we'll turn our attention on you. So let's see who's brave in the audience. Any takers? Hands raised.
Hello everybody, I'm Angel John, a student of the University of Dar es Salaam. So I'm here to speak about attractive tourism destinations in Africa. By beginning, Africa is a continent of diverse landscapes, vibrant cultures, and unique attractions, make it a popular destination for tourists from around the world. Each of these attractions has its own unique charm and draws visitors for different reasons. For example, Mount Kilimanjaro is Africa's highest mountain. It's Africa's highest mountain with more than 19,000 feet, a popular challenge for hikers and climbers. Also, there is a pyramid of Giza, a testament of ancient Egyptian civilizations, and must be seen for history books. Also, there is a lot of beautiful beaches with magical land like Zanzibar, coast of Tanzania, covered with white sands and coral reefs.
Thank you so much. We still have time for other participants. I see some MVPs avoiding the cameras, but we'll find you wherever you are. Please raise up your hands if you'd like to participate and say something interesting. Go ahead. We have a lady over there.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to speak about the magical species found in Africa, also in Tanzania. Did you all know that in Tanzania there is this species called kakakuona? Kakakuona, kaka is the Swahili word means brother, and kuona means to see. So the brother that sees the future. This is the rarest species in Tanzania, and when the villagers come in contact with it, they keep things like maize in front of it, swords, water, even money. When the kakakuona touches one of them, therefore the people believe that it predicts the future.
Thank you for all of that. Mommy water, I've heard of that. Thank you for your insights on that. We still have time for other participants if time permits. I see a gentleman at the corner. Would you like to say something about the continent or something about Africa that we didn't know?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Francis. Africa has a very nutritious and very strong food, and one food I want to talk about is cassava. So I'm married to a Congolese, and when I'm in Goma, I eat cassava. When I travel to Kenya, I eat cassava flour, and that is ugali, cassava bread, and that's ugali. And then in Tanzania here, yesterday, I was eating ugali, and I want to tell you, African food is lovely. Number two, the hospitality. While I travel along the way, being Ugandan, I did speak very good Kiswahili, but every step you make in an African country, you are able to meet someone you can speak with. I can now speak some Kiswahili, I speak some Kirundi and Kinyarwanda, I speak Luganda, I speak English, and now my next step is to learn Chinese and French. Why do I say this? Is that if we are to have Africa united, we need to know what is about Africa, and I'm on this journey to traverse Africa for me to be able to inspire learners, to be able to inspire teachers, so that we stand up for the unification of Africa. Thank you so much. You can find more stories on my YouTube channel, The African Traveling Teacher, to get to understand more about what is happening across the continent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. A correction there, African food is not just lovely, it is phenomenal. And if time permits, we will take some more participants. The gentleman over there with the hands raised.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Johnny Kasmin. I'm presenting China Harbor Engineering Company, for which I can share with you. For the time I joined the company, I get that opportunity and know that the company is giving back to the people for what they are getting from the country. Our company is giving opportunity for us to learn from the scratch. Even if you join to the company, you don't know anything, you can cooperate with other people who are already experienced with such kind of job, and then you can get knowledge from the time you cooperate with them.
Thank you very much. Let's see if we can put someone on the spot. I know some people are very unwilling to participate. Let's see if we can get that gentleman there. Let's put the spotlight on him. what do you have to say about Africa that we don't know?
Thank you very much. My name is Joseph Malekela. I'm the Chief Operations Officer of Africa Asia Aid Foundation. And I would like to share about two fun facts about Tanzania first. Tanzania is the 30% of the Tanzania land is occupied by the national parks, if you didn't know. And we have a lot of them, and now the government is trying to promote tourism sector. So make sure you get time to visit one of it. And I recommend you find out about the great migration of animals every year, whereby 1.5 million animals travel from Tanzania to Kenya and looking of pastures, and they cross across the Mara River. It's a very interesting story to look at. But also the second fun fact is about Africa. Regardless that we have only 54 countries in Africa, we have over 2,000 spoken languages in Africa. So it is very interesting to know that we have a diverse of languages and still we are keeping unified and promoting our heritage. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I didn't know that. Insightful indeed. One more person in the corner. We have a gentleman over there.
Hello, good morning. My name is Victoria Muhuri, and I'm working with East Africa Commercial Logistics Center. They are now constructing a business hub. It's called East Africa Commercial Logistics Center, which is now under construction at the former bus terminal Ubungo. And what I can talk about Africa is that from the beginning on 2014, our shareholder, Ms. Katie Wang, have come in Tanzania and start searching for a place to put a marketplace from China to do business. And I can say most of the leaders in Tanzania have been a great support to her. You can see since 2014 up to now, they are supporting her on this. And she already got the contract, and now you can see the project is under construction at Ubungo. That I can say many leaders have passed and they are still supporting her and everything. So I can say Tanzania is a very good place for investment, and the government is supporting the investment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, the gentleman in the morning, here's your turn.
Tanzania, Efraim Bahemi, journalist and a friend of China. I have a few surprising facts about Tanzania and Africa in particular. First, Tanzania is the home of Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the second highest point, the first highest point in Africa, and the highest freestanding mountain above the sea level in the world. Its height is almost 60,000 meters.
Thank you very much. I did not know that. But let's see who else would like to conquer their fear of public speaking. The gentleman over there. The mic's for you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Sumari, University of Dar es Salaam student, and I would like to talk about the Xhosa language from South Africa. This is one of the fascinating languages in East Africa and in Africa in general, whereby it is primarily spoken by the Xhosa people in South Africa, where they use distinctive click sounds they have, which are represented by letters like letter C for sound like, and they have letter Q, which is represented by a distinctive sound of, and lastly letter X, represented by a distinctive sound of. So you can go through YouTube channels and you can see how these people communicate. It's really motivating us. It creates like a rhythm when they communicate. So that is what I want to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The wonders of the Xhosa language, fascinating indeed. Let's see if we have time for at least one more person. Do we have any hands raised? That courageous gentleman over there. Let's hear what you have to say.
Thank you. My name is Walter Mushi. Surprising fact of today goes to most attractive tourist niche destination for within Africa. And the first place goes to Sahara Desert. Sahara Desert is the third largest desert in the world, which occupies about 3.5 million square meter. And the Sahara Desert, it has a lot of species, varied species like the monitor lizard, the gazelle, the viper snake. And the Sahara Desert is a wandering tribe who are living in most of the oases of the desert.
Well, thank you so very much. And I'd like to thank everyone for your courageous participation. As we are enjoying the vibe here, remember you can keep the energy alive by turning to the CGTN TV channel and engaging with us on our social media platforms, including YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Well, we're not done just yet. Your journey with us does not end here. Together, let's continue to explore and build bridges and strengthen the bonds between China and Africa. And as the Belt and Road Initiative suggests, let's continue to enhance people-to-people bonds and continue the promotion of connectivity around the world. We're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, our event takes on a journey of an artistic fusion. From the vibrant landscapes of Tanzania, we have an artist here who weaves sustainable development into the Tanga paintings, into his Tanga paintings. And joining us for this showcase is a Chinese calligrapher as well. And she's bringing a piece that resonates with us, and let us welcome both of them to the stage. You're very welcome. Well, we'll start with the artist. I had the good fortune of finding out his name. Save, thank you for joining us here on this special event. Talk to us about these particular paintings. What's it about, and how long did it take you to paint these amazing artwork?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Save Adam from Tinga Tinga. This is type of art. It shows you the nice environment of Tinga Tinga, vibrant color. According to what I paint here, it shows the clear image and landscape of our environment in Tanzania mostly, or Africa. By the way, this picture shows some animal, the other one, and because of nice environment, we can do our Tinga Tinga nicely and give us more credit for the people who come from to visit Tanzania. So therefore, and other show you some stuff to sustain our environment for using the stuff like solar power and wind spinning. Also, it tells us to keep our nice vision by not cultivate our trees.
All right, Save. Thank you. Big round of applause, shall we? Save, thank you. I observed your passion there and your attention to detail. Thank you so much for sharing. And now we have a Chinese calligrapher. I'm going to let you explain what it is that you do. Go ahead, the mic is yours.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a cultural teacher from the China Cultural Center in Tanzania. I'm very happy to share a traditional Chinese painting I made for today. In this painting, we are showing students in traditional Chinese society to read in autumn up in the mountains. The scene is just beautiful. I made this painting to say, throughout history and around the world, people always work hard to learn and grow. I hope this painting can represent my wishes to the strong friendship between China and Africa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much. I can tell you your best wishes are well received. Thank you so much. And well, finally, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for your time. We do have a very special event, a very special performance for you. As you know, the Chinese martial arts have gained popularity in Africa, And here at Dar es Salaam University, they boast an impressive team. And today they're here to show us their talents. Gentlemen, please, the floor is yours. And ladies and gentlemen, we would like to bring some courageous individuals from the audience to do a backflip or a cartwheel. Any takers? I'm just kidding. All right, it's time now to close, but before we close, it's time to introduce you to the best, the very, very best in African dance. We are bringing them to the stage. Let's give them a very big round of applause. I'm Richard Todd from CGTN. Thank you. That is my time. Let's welcome our African dancers, shall we?